welcome to my channel. Now I thought I would get you to join me from scratch, so I still have to get one more tool that I keep just behind me because it's my craft area and I like everything kind of, you know, within grabbing distance. So grab your tea, coffee, alcohol, whatever your tipple is. I am kitting up my mystery kit because my bags arrived last week, and I will start with creating a sticker. I know when I opened this I did contemplate photocopying the sheet. Well, I haven't photocopied it, so it's like, okay, tough sticks, I'm gonna have to just chop it up. So move that aside for now. We'll not need that just yet. This is a kickback from my scrapbooking days. Oops. Straight cutters are invaluable. If you can invest in one of these, I would absolutely recommend that you do. Now, what I do is line it up so that, I'm going to line it up at the bottom because it's been finicky, is so that it just passes that last number. One slice. And that is scrap, that's just the quantity in that column. Do not need that. Now with this, again, these are going to be too wide for my containers, but I just need the numbers. That is rubbish, but that can go in the bin I have behind me. Chinese, don't need Chinese writing. And the bottom, don't need to waste my stickers. Ooh, not quite lined up, so just give it a tweak. Put the guard back on. And we are good to go to put it away. Alright, it goes back home. Alright, Xyron sticker maker. Now it's been a while since I've seen anyone with the Xyron sticker maker, so I will show you. This is the Xyron sticker maker. This is the manual version. You can have the green repositionable, that's what it's called, repositionable refill. And you can have the pink permanent, and they just, yeah, it's been a while. Slide in, lock in, that's it. You put the paper in here, and I'll show you. This is a box that it comes in. You get 6 meters in length. I think that's about 30 kits, 30 inventory strips. And that's in my local craft store here in Australia. So you pop it in, try and get it as straight as possible. These can be a pain in the ass if you wiggle them the wrong direction, and mine always tend to tilt. Anyway, you start pulling very gently, and once you've got the thing lined up and you can see it's going straight, you can pull through quite quickly. When you get clear, you tear. That's it. Xyron goes away. Now it's not behaving. There we go. Again, everything is, you know, hand distance. Rub that down just very, very lightly. You then pull off the clear contact. This will remove the residual sticky. This now is sticky around the edges. Any part that hasn't had paper between it, you can get rid of that. And this is a sticker, believe it or not. This is now a sticker. So you peel that off and that's a sticker. Okay, we'll trim because I don't need tails. And that was 20 centimeters gone out of that 6 meter roll. So depending on the length of your inventory, the Xyron sticker makers are fantastic. You've got exactly the icon that you're looking for. There's no drawing them or anything else. It should be exactly as it is per your canvas. Now, these are my sticky scissors as well, and I also tend to use the tweezers, and what I will probably do is jar up first, and then I will put the drills into the jars, because things will just get all kinds of wacky if I don't. So let me push my lights back. I'm using pink. This is one of the new kits that I got during the week. You will see it probably in the next week or two on my channel. I'll use the pink because there is so much pink in this kit, and I might actually remember that the pink is for my mystery painting. They come with these stickers. I find these stickers are next to useless for this kind of thing. I want the repositionable because I want to take them off afterwards. They come in handy for something else, so don't just toss them. And then you've got the string bag bit for all the extras. So I'm going to be using 39, which brings me up to this bottle here, which means I've got these 2 rows spare. So if I've got a lot of large bags, I might put an overflow into some of these, which is where that sticker might come in handy, because that's what I might use to relabel this purely for the color. I have often had, I think one of my kits has the last 3 here are a 310 back up to the 310 actually in the kit. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So yeah, grab your stuff and whip away. Where am I at? It was a busy week this week. 5 days work, which was fine. I needed to do some organizing at work, and things just seemed to fall nicely into place, so that was awesome. Oh, okay. I thought I had... Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just... that was a pill alarm, because if I don't set an alarm, I probably won't take my afternoon dose, which means then my back will hurt, and yeah. That isn't good to... So that's all I do. So separate the one from the icon and the DMC code, and I will probably leave then the 1, 2, 3 on the container because they are always useful. Now, what I was doing before was actually snipping these and not snipping it fully, so I'm going to make fringe or fringes. So that's where the tweezers came in, I think. Just to speed up the process. Look, everybody kits up differently, and you might be completely different to how you do it. There is no right or wrong, it is however your brains work. I'm going to work backwards just because there are 10 in a row and just allows me to do this. We got word during the week that our new car was in the north of the state, and it was really funny because on Thursday morning we were driving into work and we see 2 car carriers. I guess they carry 8 cars, and we see the colour of the car that we've ordered, and my husband goes absolutely bonkers. He wants this as his birthday present, which is tomorrow, which is Monday, but it's 2 days ago for you guys. So he wants the car on his birthday, as you do, you know, he's a big kid.
Because then I can call it my car.
Oh, he thinks then he can call it his car and I'm paying the... yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we follow this... I'm going to call it a low loader. It's not a low loader, but anyway, the car carrier. We follow this car carrier down the highway to the intersection, and, you know, we're kind of saying, well, he's sitting in the left lane. Maybe he's not actually going to our car yard. And the next thing he's indicating, and he's pulling over after another car carrier that's going through. So there's 2 car carriers with cars. One's got the wrong kind of cars and one's got the right kind of cars. And we follow it, and it drives around, and it drives around to the front of our car yard. And yeah, and then he's kind of going, but it doesn't say all-wheel drive on the back of any of the cars. And I'm kind of going, I need to get to work, mate. And he's kind of going, you know, work, just tell him to shut up. And then he pulls up behind the car carrier, and I'm going, no, I can't take a photo of it here. You're too close to it. So I tell him to go and do a blocky. I'm late for work, and I'm telling him to go and do the blocky. And take a picture of the car on the car carrier. And then he's going, ring the sales agent to find out where the car is. Well, ring the sales agent, and he goes, the car's still in Melbourne. So it's not our car. But we've got a photo of what our car potentially is going to look like on the car carrier. God. Anyway, it was Friday evening. I was busy at work and didn't get a chance to check my personal email. Because it's mostly junk mail. Didn't get a chance to check my personal email. And next thing I know is hubby's saying the car's in the north of the state, and it was actually there yesterday afternoon. I'm kind of thinking, oh my god, are they going to make him sweat? And the car is going to be available on Saturday, which would have been awesome, because then we would have had the weekend to play with it, and I would have had the weekend to drive it, because he drives me to work and I don't get to play with it. Now, didn't get a phone call. So if it's here in my city, it's just being prepped with the rego plate being put on and the DVR in-car camera being fitted. And I don't think we were getting any special coating. They try and upsell you the bullshit, well, it's not, maybe it's not bullshit, but the special diamond coating that's so tough, and yeah, but it costs you $1,000. And you know, tinting, you know, because they can tint the car to the point where it's barely legal, you know, that kind of thing. And it was just like, nah, not going to do that either. So hopefully there's no regrets on that one. And I did say to the sales agent, it's hubby's birthday on Monday, and he goes, duly noted. So I don't know if we're going to get a call tomorrow saying, come and get your car, because well, that may actually cause some issues.
Normal paint didn't last for 4 years. The car would be unsuitable for purpose.
Yeah, my husband's saying if the normal paint didn't last for 4 years, the car would be unsuitable for purpose. Anyway, tomorrow afternoon I have an appointment, and I'll tell you about that later. So yeah, just waiting to hear. And if the call comes for Tuesday, I might not be able to get out early because I've got meeting kind of commitments in the afternoon, and it just gets really awkward. And he wants his daughter, who's between houses, to be involved, you know, in the purchase or in the receiving of the car, and you know, to feel like she's actually, you know, part of the whole excitement and giddiness, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's where we're at with that one. My son called during the week, and he's going, we don't know what the story is with wedding numbers. There's further restrictions in New South Wales with gatherings. And I said, well, don't delay the wedding. Whatever happens, just get married. I don't care if he only has the 5 people that it got dropped down to at one point, which is the celebrant, the bride, the groom, and 2 witnesses. That's what it dropped down to at one point in April. So he's kind of saying, well, you know, the restriction would mean that hubby can't go because he's kind of like an outlier, which means that my ex and my ex's new wife would also be told, bog off for the afternoon, you can't come because we're restricting numbers, and if she can't bring him, then you can't bring her, kind of. The ex is being a twit and kicking up about that one. And, you know, Simon's trying to take considerations in for my feelings, because, you know, my family are being weird about talking to me and stuff, and it's like, I'm going to be on my own with no one to talk to and that, so. And then there's, can we even get through to the state? And it's like, don't know. Anyway, we'll wait and see. It's a ticking time bomb. We can cancel most things without losing too much, but we would be cancelling it maybe a month in advance, whereas everything's changing so rapidly. It's usually changing for the worst, unfortunately, in that you get a lockdown happening a lot quicker than you get a reopening, which is fine in reality, but when you want to make plans, it makes things rather tricky. So yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind putting off the trip if we can book it for some other time next year and not lose anything at all. We'll certainly try that with the ferry company. You know, and then just go and have a holiday with my son and his new wife, and maybe just something like that. I don't know. So, COVID, you suck. Yeah, so came home yesterday. Oh, yeah. So we're selling the car to get the new car. We've now got the Jeep up on Gumtree website, which is a local flea market kind of sales avenue. So I had to go out yesterday after washing the car. That was actually quite fun. I haven't had to hand wash him for a long time. And then we had to come up with the ad. Of course, my husband rewrote everything I said, because everything I said was, I don't know, too wordy or something. Anyway, he did a really good job.
I've been trained in copywriting.
He says he's been trained in copywriting in ads. Anyway, he rejigged my wording, and we started getting some spammy kind of inquiries, and one guy was coming on saying, oh, can't talk to you except, no, sorry, the seller, the buyer is interested, but he can only talk to you on this email address. And you know, it was just really weird. And there was another one that was also saying, hey, you know, awesome ad, you know, love it. You know, I was just like, oh, I'm not trying to date you, you moron. And then we had another guy contact us yesterday saying, hey, I'm interested, can we meet? And I said, yeah, what are your movements tomorrow? And he goes, yeah, I can meet around lunchtime. Well, I had a meeting with some stitchy people in the city, and I'm kind of thinking, yeah, okay, I can meet you, but it means that I'm cutting my meeting short. It was the first time that we had a meetup, doing the, just, you know, it's the cross stitch shop that I go to, Stitch in Time, down in Sandy Bay, and it's the girls there, the Sassy Devils, and you will see the sassy pouch that I got from the girls in a couple of weekends. I'm not quite sure when that's going to go up, but I got a pouch of cross stitch treats from these, and you know, every time I've gone into the store, Carolyn has been fantastic. So really kind of looking forward to getting to know these girls better. And these are my peers, and that's weird because, you know, I'm not used to actually connecting with people who are my peers. It's just a sign of me getting old, I think. Because I was into the cross stitch when I was younger, nobody was doing it, and I was into the, you know, all sorts of things, and nobody was doing it at my age, and that I was a stay-at-home mum, you know, and the people that I was connecting with were in their 50s and retiring, and anyway, these are my peers, these are my people. And what was really, really cool, hello Sarah, one of my subscribers from my YouTube channel came, and it was like, we get to meet in person. It was so cool. So I've met 2 of my subscribers now. So yeah, she walks in and she doesn't recognize me at first, and she sits down next to me as she's doing a cruise of what we're all up to. And yeah, I was absolutely delighted to meet her, that I didn't miss her because she was coming when I expected to be leaving. but she arrived about half an hour before we went, and she's working on 40 count, and I'm kind of thinking, oh yeah, I can see it in good light, but sitting on my couch in bad light, far out, I'd feel blind. But she's got this gorgeous stitching, and her backs are far out. They're incredible. They're as good as the front. It's like, oh, I'm just no way as neat. I've got spider webs behind mine. Anyway, backs are not a competition, people. So, yeah, had this, and I had to cut it short to come home, and, you know, told the guy 1 o'clock, gave him our home address, because hubby is going to be escorting the car with whoever's gonna, you know, buy it.
What am I doing?
You're gonna do the test drive with them, preferably. One of us is anyway. I don't trust giving the car to a complete stranger, put it that way. You know, perks of the job and all that kind of carry on. So, yeah, I'm home 10 minutes before this guy is supposed to show up. Nothing has been acknowledged to say, hey, yeah, I'll be there, or anything else. No acknowledgement on the ad whatsoever. And lo and behold, John Douchebag hasn't shown up. And it's now an hour after I said come around, which is now no longer what Australians would term lunchtime. And it's just like, yeah. Screw you, mate. You're not going to get many chances to piss us around. So we have been into a guy that I have bought 3 cars from, who then became a friend with my ex, because they would run together. I think they did the Point to Pinnacle, which is a famous run up the mountain here for stupid people who want to run a half marathon uphill. That's like all kinds of wacky. So yeah, called into his car yard, and he's ringing 3 of his dealer mates, you know, phone a friend as he calls it, because he kind of goes, yeah, sure, I'll sell your car, and then he kind of backpedals and goes, yeah, not really. And then he kind of goes, oh, you'd easily get, you know, this much money for it, and then backpedals again and goes, but I'll only give you pennies by comparison. So it's like, okay, well, we'll try and sell it privately, knowing that we have a snowball's hope in hell of much success. And the hassle of, you know, strangers in your car sniffing around, knowing your address, or all of that kind of, you know, dodge. And yeah, and then bank transfers, you know, for not an inconsiderable amount of money. So yeah, I'm nervous to say the least. But if I can get private sale price over a dealer price, yeah, I'd much prefer private sale price. We have, you know, the debt of the balloon payment to pay off. That, you know, the banks, some of the banks like leaving behind and saying, hey, you still owe us this after you've been paying it off, plus the interest that would have covered that bit as well. Yeah, so I just want the damn thing gone once we have the new car, but at the moment we still need it. So there's the inconvenience of, yeah, you can come and have a look at it, but you can't drive it to, you know, to keep. So we have somebody who's from the north of the state has had some passing interest as well. She's got to consult with her dad. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully it's not going to be overly complicated and arduous of a deal. Yeah. Car sales. Easy to buy, not so easy to get rid of them.
Easy?
Easy to buy. Yeah, you can walk into a car yard, and if you're willing to pay the money that the sharks are wanting you to pay, you can walk away, and, you know, the trade-in is reasonably easy, but the selling of the damn things, far out. They end up like a stone around your neck, I think. Especially when you're in the too expensive for the first car, you know, and it's too old for other people, and, you know, it's kind of like the middle ground car. But certainly been a fun car to drive. You know, apart from some of the issues we've had with it, temperamental dragon as he is. Yeah. Personality and character. There's that magic word. Yeah. I kind of thought, how liberal can we get with this ad? Is she asleep? Yep. I'm going to kill the TV. Yeah, so it is what it is. We'll see how we go. Alright, these are the large packets. Okay, I'm dispensing the large packets because they will be used. And let's see how we go. These are all the large. You might remember when I sorted this, I sorted all the large into one bag and all the littles into another. So I need my tray. And I need each of the containers as they get called for. So this is the beauty with the flat lids. You may have one of my, hang on, I need a bin. I need something as a bin. I have got a bin, but it's full of stuff. Isn't it silly? You have a bin and you fill it. Alright, hubby 3D printed this. Anyway, alright, I think we're there. Not quite happy about it having... No. It's so high. And potentially spilling on that. So I'm going to move it out of the scene. And then... Alright, I'm a little bit happier with that. That's better. Yeah, alright, that'll do. So these contain 800. Now I could use a funnel. I may yet use a funnel. Yay. May yet use a funnel just because it gives me a bigger dropping space. Okay, I've thrown them everywhere. Good start, Phil. Pippa, even. Damp finger picks up drills really well. Now all I want to do is get these somewhere over the tray. Oh, one went over here. It's only one. Don't see it. Yep. Give me a second. I don't see a human. Could be the neighbour from across the road. So, oh, that is half full for 800 drills. Alright. 371. Now because they do these in DMC code order, you're going to be able to find them reasonably easy. There looks like there's more drills in this bag than the other bag. In fact, I will show where the difference might be. Now you remember I said there's more drills? This has a 1 on it. And this has a 2, so I think it's got an extra 100 or so in there. So it's more likely to be a difference of, you know, the 500 to the 800 kind of thing. Okay. These funnels are awesome. Some of the shops are selling them now. Just give them a bit of a... Oh, static. I'm going to give it a wipe with the dryer sheet because that's not behaving itself, and I sent another one and sent 2 flying. Oh dear. They bounce straight out. What the heck? Alright, there is a smidge staticky. And that's what can happen. Another thing that can cause static is using those little vacuums to pick up your drills. They can get staticky, so I will stuff that in, just take it out. And they will behave now. Alright, so hopefully we won't have the same issue with the next one. Alright, 742. Yeah, came home yesterday after washing the car and found my dog outside, came to say hello to me, and I noticed his left cheek is looking a bit swollen and puffy, and I thought, ooh, what's going on? So I'm holding his face and squishing his cheek, and he yelps, and it's like, oh shit, what's going on? Look inside his mouth, and he used to have perfect teeth. He's probably been eating too many scraps lately, but he used to have perfect teeth. Maybe he had more bones too. And his teeth on one side are worse than the other. And yeah, so one of the teeth on that side, on his left side, is loose and looking a bit, looking a lot shitty. That has a 6 on it. It's quite a full bag. Again, these are not numbers that you need to be worried about. These are numbers for them to be able to go, we need to have more rather than less in these bags. So checked his teeth. So one's going to have to probably come out, and the other one may just be a clean, and it might be an abscess up under the gum that they can just lance. Let's see how we go. So he's booked into the vet tomorrow night, which means that I've got to be home from wherever in time to be able to take him to the vet, which is only just down the road. It's 5 minutes drive. So again, if we get called about the car, it's not necessarily going to work. So. What do you mean he's not riding in the... He's saying he's not riding in the new car. Yeah. My dog. And I was actually thinking that if we did collect the new car, we'd be leaving Norbert in the city. So we actually wouldn't have a choice. Because then it would mean that only one of us gets to sit in the car and see the pleasure. We were going to record getting the car. That we actually haven't seen any... there's particular videos that hubby, he's been watching all the porn of this car. That's available on YouTube. He calls it car porn. He's been watching all this car porn on the car, and if there's something to know about it, he's, you know, found out. So there's a lot of gaps, I suppose, in the media. He says there's not much of the car being driven. There's one guy who does cornering, and there's, you know, the other guys that do the specs and stuff, but there's a couple of niches that he's saying they just aren't out there. Now, we're not car reviewers by a long shot, but he does know how to drive, and, you know, I kind of think, well, you know, we should be able to cobble up some videos together. Could end up being quite entertaining. He's found a few hacks that he's going to be wanting to try out for the first time based on other YouTube videos and all that kind of thing. So, I don't know, you can get it to... You know how, if you've ever watched your teenagers or asked your teenagers about gaming hacks, you know, where you have to go, you know, left 10 times, up twice, right down 2 times, and, you know, jump around the pole and, you know, sing Yippee-Ki-Yay, and you get a sword or a shield, or, you know, you get something for doing something completely stupid. They're like Easter eggs, or they're like treasure that you get by doing a cheat. It's cheat code. Well, there are certain cheat codes to get into the belly of this beast. One gets into the settings, although the video was in, I don't think it was German. French, I don't think it was French either. I don't know, foreign language anyway. I could understand some of it, but others I was kind of going, no, don't understand what that's supposed to mean. So, and there was hidden menus where you actually can't see anything on the screen. So what this guy does is he gets this blank screen and he goes swipe, swipe, swipe 3 times, and then he goes swipe, 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 swipe 5 or 7 times or something to get into this menu that gets again into the belly of the beast. And I don't know if it's like the mechanic kind of settings or what the heck it is, but until we get it in English we're not gonna know. But there was another one where the guy was talking about, oh, you can get into this kind of setting by going left, right, up, down, blah blah blah. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, but it worked, and he got into this setting to be able to tweak something to do with the music settings, or, you know, media settings or something like that, and it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But yeah, that's what is going to be distracting my husband this week. Not the 3D printing or anything else. Not the lights. Well, he's got to get the lights working, otherwise I'm not going to let him play in the car. Maybe that's how I need to work it. Yeah. Hold the keys to ransom. I'll drive myself to work in my car! Oh, he's saying he's going to play Metallica in the car. No. Maybe I won't put you in for a cake nomination tomorrow. Scotty Huss was kind of saying, hey, if it's your birthday, you know, you can nominate people on our Christian radio station for their birthday. And they read out, you know, what you say about your person, about your loved one. And if you go into the draw and you win a cake. So you win a birthday cake from one of the stores in around our area. What? Oh, he wants me to make him a cake. No, I work. Oh, maybe I'll buy him a donut. Yeah. I don't even know if we have a caramel mud left. You have to ask. 3688. So yeah, you could have exciting things happening. So the new car has been given a name. The Jeep has been called Norbert. Oops, I didn't use the thingy. It was called Norbert because of the letter. The way we have the way we have registrations here in Tasmania currently is a letter, 2 numbers, 2 letters. Or we can have 2 letters, 4 numbers, and that kind of, you know, thing. So he is a letter, 2 numbers, and then no. And, well, because I didn't have my ex involved in this purchase, and, you know, this was my car, you know, first time I had bought a car in for ages and ages. And I wanted it to have a name rather than, you know, being known as the Jeep. So I named it. You know, I'm kind of thinking, well, what can I use in the registration that, you know, gives it its name? So I was probably watching Harry Potter in the recent history and had the NO and just went, Norbert. And then I think I was in a store that sold Beanie Babies and found this little red dragon called something, I don't know, it might be Scorch or some other stupid TY name. And I got this little red dragon and I put some Velcro dots, one Velcro dot on his butt and a Velcro dot on the car, and he's Velcroed onto the car so he doesn't run around. And yeah, so I've got Norbert the dragon in the car, and I've got Norbert's name in a label maker sticker on the dash, you know, and he's been Norbert ever since. So yeah, he's got a name. So the new one is called Trevor, because we were trying to think of a name for Trevor, and this is going to be Trevor's dragon. So this is actually a Dexter, and this is a Jellycat dragon. He is super soft, he's gorgeous, but he's got the wings. He's not quite the right colour for the car, but you know, he's cute. So he's going to lie on the dash somewhere. I'll get some Velcro dots and stick them on his belly so that he doesn't fly around the car either, and I'll take his tags off. This is, yeah, so it's Dexter. You can actually get Dexter in small, medium and large. This is small, and he's so soft. So Dexter is going to fade away on the dash of the new car. And no doubt Norbert is going to have sun patches on his back. He's actually got, we were up at hubby's parents' place for Christmas one year, and we had Christmas crackers, bonbons, whatever the heck you call them in your country. Christmas crackers is what I grew up with, bonbons in Australia. But the Christmas crackers were fancy ones that had bits of twisty wire and lace and you know, fakey beady gemmy kind of things on them. So I kept the fakey beady gemmy kind of things because they're pretty, and I put them onto Norbert's wrist, so he's got these little, you know, dangly pretties on his wrist as well, so they'll stay on him. And I don't know if I'm going to move Norbert into Trevor or we retire Norbert to the house. We'll see. I actually ended up getting a large red dragon for Sophie when she was growing in me, as a reassurance for me that I could cuddle. It was a sensory thing, and during the pregnancy I would actually sit out here with the dragon, who is he's smaller than her. He's pretty big though. He kind of sits head height at her, but he's sitting up on a bench, so I was trying to think, hang on, no, he's definitely smaller than her, but he would have been bigger than her when she was born. But yeah, this is a dragon that I got. So I've got a red dragon that sits next to my bed that's her dragon. So yeah, dragons are a bit of a theme, I guess. I actually did a terracotta dragon with my middle boy, and when I was going through a stupid, you know, cleanse the house Christian wackadoodle stage, I got rid of it, and I shouldn't have regretted that one. We went and did a pottery, parent and child pottery day with the adult education system when it was still active, doing evening and weekend classes, and they actually ran these events. I'm going to decant these with parent and child classes, or you could go and do, you know, adult photography classes, but they were awesome, and then they stopped doing them. So once a year when the classes came, or no, not even once a year, once a semester when the classes came out, when I first arrived in Tasmania, I would do a kid and parent class, and I would do an adult ed class myself. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. So some of the classes I did were, I did a black and white photography class, and we were able to, what did we do? We learned some theory in the classroom with a photographer dude who was slightly suspicious. He was a nice guy, and his wife had MS, and he was a lovely guy. He'd been teaching this stuff for, you know, forever. But we would do some classwork, learn about aperture, perspective, and manual and autofocus and things like that. And then we had a session out in the wilds at a location that he picked, And then we had, in the black and white photography course, we had a chance to develop our shots. So that was really, really cool. So we had to go and buy the film for the black and white, and that's, I don't even know if you can get it anymore. I don't even know if you can get it developed by any of the stores anymore. I think they do some, but most of it's now digital. So yeah, I did that and loved it. Loved the whole developing in the dark room and all that kind of thing. That was really, really cool. And then I went on and did other photography courses. I think there was maybe a nighttime photography course, and this was just, you know, hobby. I went with, I might have gone actually with a camera that we had, like a family camera that was a Minolta, potentially. I don't think I used my old shitty teenage camera, which I could barely focus. I don't know if you're familiar with older cameras, but the older camera that I had, and I didn't know how to use this properly when I first had it. I took it to Dublin Zoo one day for a kids photography course in the zoo, and it was just me. My dad had a lifetime membership at the zoo, and he enrolled me in this camera course, and I took this camera along, and you know, you could take pictures of the animals, and I think everything but maybe 3 photos came out blurry, because the focal area on the camera was this tiny yellow square, and you had to get the lines to join up within that yellow square. Well, I don't think I understood that when I was given the camera properly, and yeah. Anyway, still have those photos. Still remember the day. It was kind of cool, but it was just a normal color photo, you know, develop it yourself kind of thing. But yeah. And it was a chance to photograph the animals. I mean, we weren't in the enclosures or anything. We weren't actually any closer to the animals than anyone else would have been. It was just, well, I don't actually know what the benefit of it, other than we were a group of people going around, maybe with the keeper, talking about the animals in a bit more detail. I don't know. Dad having the lifetime membership, like he bought lifetime membership back when it was, you know, dirt cheap. I don't think they even offer it anymore. So that was always a thing. As a kid, we would probably go to the zoo 3 or 4 times a year and make use of that free ticket effectively. So that was kind of cool. And we'd bring, you know, the cousins or whatever. And I think it was one you could pass down, like he could actually nominate somebody else to be able to use it on his behalf as well. It was really, really cool. For me growing up, you know, Dublin in the 70s, 80s, you know, to be able to do this and, you know, go into Dublin Zoo, which was, you know, a treat. So yeah, some happy memories doing that, but yeah, camera, terrible. I still have the camera though. Don't have the money to buy a big new camera. Phone cameras are pretty good these days. My idea of a camera that's good is the one that you've got on you, and I edit in camera as much as possible. It's just how I am and how I work. I try and frame my shot within what I can actually see through the viewfinder, so therefore there is less editing to have to do afterwards. Whereas my ex, who was also into photography, albeit ships, he would edit afterwards and he would crop afterwards, and I just thought that was stupid from my mentality. But you know, different photographers do different things. And my current husband thinks he should just click away with the camera, take 200 shots and hope that 2 of them are clear. But sometimes that works too. Sorry? Oh. Oh. No, you're not temporary. Goodness. No, it was just that I was talking about the ex. It was almost similar. What? I don't know. I'm not. Oh, goodness sake. That's what I get with having you know.
I'm getting old tomorrow.
He's 51 tomorrow.
All I had was one.
Sorry?
All I had was one. I had one tomorrow.
He's going to be 51 tomorrow.
One tomorrow.
1 tomorrow, yeah. Yeah. He kind of panicked when he hit 50, kind of. So we didn't actually do anything, I don't think. I think parents might have come for dinner. Tomorrow, nothing's happening. It's been too traumatic a year, so I don't remember. Yeah. We normally just do pasta on a Monday night. We haven't even, like, my rule was if it's your birthday, you get to pick dinner.
I know what I want.
What do you want apart from a car?
Pasta.
He wants pasta. Yeah. I need to get him a box of crayons or something. Yeah, he's a big kid. He's still got his old crayons. I don't know if you heard that. He said he still has got his old crayons from when he was 5. No hope. Actually, I have a jumper on the way for him. It's saying with Deadpool. I don't know when it's going to be here. I thought it was appropriate to his kind of humour. And the whole, not quite put down, but yeah. It's not snarky, it's just quip-worthy. Maybe that's, yeah. Alright, so, spare drills. And now I have a bag. Here we go. I will put up to a maximum of 3 in these, but I think if they give you 4, you're into the big bag anyway. 5, 17, and if it's already got drills in a box, I won't be putting them in at all. So we'll see how we go. So yeah, anyone want to buy a Jeep? You'll have to pay shipping, and it's probably going to cost just a little bit in fees to get anywhere. Yeah. Oh, and it's right-hand drive, yeah, because we drive on the correct side of the road here. It's funny. Anyway. Yeah. What else is happening? Oh, I did a massive floss tube at the, yesterday. I think I recorded a massive floss tube. All my stitchy progress. Berating myself for not doing more with the botanical stitch along. I can never remember the name of the damn group. I think it's got Sal in the name, and somebody posted in the group today, and I've forgotten the name again. Yeah, it's part of the Peppermint Purple stable, and 742, so I'm not doing anything with those because they have a big bag. Alright, yeah, so I need to organise that, but I said to Sarah, I said, oh no, I'm going to be kitting up my mystery painting today. And she goes, ooh, today! Getting all excited. This woman is trying to study and work, I think, at the same time. It's like, oh my god, girl. Ooh, what is that? It's okay. It's dirty. You know what? I'm not going to use it because it looks gross. Like Chinese disease or something. Hey, I did see, who is it? Lynette? Lynn, you were putting, I don't know if this is true or not for you guys over in the States. Somebody's putting seeds in the mail and sending them to unsuspecting people in the States. Like, what? Yeah, and how you shouldn't be planting any strange seeds. They look like orange pips. I don't know, maybe they're not. But very, very strange. I know biosecurity is a huge thing here in Australia, so I would have expected the States to be just as cautious. But yeah. No? You don't? Oh. Well, anyway. The way you've got Monsanto over there, so you probably don't care. I don't know. Do you do much with fighting the whole genetically modified veg, fruit things? Yeah, one thing I did find out was, and this a while ago now, how few people know what their veggies actually look like from the ground. Does that make sense? Like, they don't know what way sprouts grow. In fact, I've had somebody just this week say that they didn't know sprouts grew on a stalk with the sprouts sticking out the side like bubble wrap, basically, on a stalk. And I was like, what? I didn't know it grew like that. And I was like, yeah. So then I had a neighbour who grew sprouts in their backyard when I was a kid. So that's how I knew how sprouts grew. Yeah, it's pretty nifty. But yeah, people don't know where their fruit and veg comes from. Here, there is a little bit of the whole buy Australian kind of mentality. It's a little bit hit and miss, and there is a bit of the whole buy Tasmanian, probably more so. You know, buy from the farmer rather than the store kind of attitude. And the farmers market is very, very popular. Although, I'm going to get rid of those in a minute. The farmers market here, the little one that I'm thinking of, in the city that meets up, the fruit and veg is grown by people who are called the Hmong. It's a Indonesian tribal kind of company. I think it's Indonesian. Anyway, they're people who grow, and there were stories that they, you know, would use human feces on the plots and things like that. I don't think they'd get away with that from the health department, but you still kind of, but it doesn't feel like it's particularly, you know, Tassie grown when you get 10 stalls all the same, you know, with the same kind of people selling. It's kind of like, well, where is that the local farmer? Whereas you do get local walnuts from the region across on the other side of the river, and you get cherries in cherry season, and you get apples, and you get, you know, homemade produce and things like that. So there are definitely some small growers as opposed to the Hmong grown vegetables that are all the same old, same old. Oh, I hate when that happens. You gotta slice it and you miss an opening. So yeah, so we've got the farmers market, so but yeah, I used to also subscribe to what was called Backyard Bounty, which is local Tasmanian farmers in a farm-based box, subscription box, and you would get your seasonal fresh veggies packed up in a box, and you would pick them up. I would pick them up. You could get them delivered as well, and they were awesome. The only thing is that because of the way my husband and I now eat, we eat the same thing each week, which doesn't allow for the seasonal change. And they would have, you know, one fruit, maybe you get a bonus fruit, and the rest would be veg, and it could be funky radishes, and it could be, you know, we got purple carrots and we got purple potatoes, you know, whatever was in season we would get, and it didn't necessarily fit in with the whole, well, we're making chips and these are not chipping potatoes, or we're making, you know, whatever it was. So the cooking that we did was not flexible for the seasonal kind of boxes, unfortunately. So I stopped getting that, but I still would promote this you know, seasonal box. So you buy whatever's in your budget. So if you want a $40 box a week in veg, you just get a $40 box, and you're knowing that it's coming from Tom, the apple, you know, the apple orchard down in, you know, Huon Valley, and you know you're getting walnuts from, you know, Bill over in the walnut farm, and that kind of, you know, and they would actually talk about who each of the growers were. It's a little bit like our wine subscription that we've got. Hubby and I put $40 a month into something called Naked Wines, which is an Australian, but it's actually not Australian, it is worldwide, I think. But we only use the Australian wines, and we pay $40 a month into this, and whenever we want, we cash our wine in. And the wine is made by local vineyards around Australia, and you get to know the winemakers and you get to know the wines. It's a small batch kind of wine. It's not necessarily something that you would see in a bottle shop or anywhere else. We can't travel up to Victoria to be able to do cellar door buying. So it's an awesome way to support your local vineyard. Get to know them, because they'll talk about how they came up with this wine, how they came up with the flavors and all that kind of thing. It's brilliant. So for every $40 that goes in a month, I mean, you can buy a box each month, but then you just pay extra. So you can bank your $40 each month. So when I get up to about $300, I get some really top-end wines sent in a box of 12, 14, 16, whatever it is. And hubby probably gets them a little bit more often because he gets the cheaper nice wine, so they're like $9 a bottle for our plonk, as opposed to our table wine, which is like $4 a bottle for our table wine. So it's kind of like, do you want a wine, do you want a nice wine, do you want a really nice wine, depending on what we're going to have for dinner. So yeah, the plonk is called a Gossip's wine. It's $4 a bottle when you buy it in bulk, and yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it goes low as $260, he says. I don't think it doesn't go that low. $360 maybe. Yeah, oh, I thought it was $420 normally. He's seen it down as low as $2.60, which is where I was buying, like when I was over in France, you could buy a bottle of wine for €1 at cellar door prices kind of thing. I'm going to put this in because this is an odd, I think there's another 3 bags, but I'll put the 2 in. You know, $3.10, it's fairly given that you're going to use it. So yeah, there's little initiatives like that that, you know, we kind of invest in. Yeah. No, another one. Another one. So now look, I've got half a bottle here, I've got 1 bag here. Yes, I could fit it in, but because it's Evermoment, their drills are freaking awesome, and they over cater. I may never need to actually open these, so I'm not going to be stupid and just dispense them. You could, but you just end up having to potentially bag them again when I can leave them with a number already on them, and it doesn't cause me any issues. Evermoment drills are worth keeping because you can swap them in a bad kit. Whereas Huacan, that was hit and miss. Between, I don't know, popping drills and maybe grid size that wasn't quite right and all of that kind of thing. Ugh, yeah. I wouldn't be in any great hurry to get a Huacan open again. Which is a shame, because when I was first buying kits, I got, I don't know, 20 Huacan maybe. Before I found out that, yeah, they were a bit shady and their drills were a problem. And when I did my daisies, there was like 72 hours working that. I hated working on the kit, between the colour and it being so bland. It was a lot of confetti, which, you know, worked out okay, but it was a fair amount of popping drills. I'd keep coming back to it and go, oh, more popping drills. So yeah, that was frustrating. So I ended up shelving it for a long time, feeling very guilty for shelving it, and then going, okay, I need to get rid of this. And it was a bit of a head down, arse up, right, one section at a time. That's what I'm doing, one section at a time. And that's how I got through it. People have said, how do you get through a tricky kit? And that's how you do it. And I think I interspersed it with some fun things in between and got there. And by the time I got to the final 12 sections, I was ready to sprint again and get this beast out of the way. And I was really quite pleased with it when it was finished. I think it was a 50 by 60 or something, or 45 by 60. It was a good size for the daisy field that it was, and you could make out the eggs, fried egg daisies in the picture and things like that. So yeah, it was okay. Three. Yep, got one of those. 3, 8, 9. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Now, this, what would you call it? The get-together that I went to for the stitching girls. I don't know, bitch and stitch. It wasn't bitch. It definitely wasn't a bitch and stitch. It was really, really nice. It was a bunch of local girls getting together. They knew each other. I was, you know, one of the virgin bitches at this thing. And they really made me feel welcome. And, you know, I was chatting with a complete stranger while we were making a tea, and she was kind of saying, oh, do you crochet? And, you know, I was kind of saying, oh, yeah, I did the crochet along with, you know, my friend Marissa. And, you know, all of this. I was like, you know, yes, you guys are my friends, but, you know, having real life people to actually jabber with about the crochet and, you know, bring your stitching along and all that kind of thing. It was really, really cool. If you can, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 of us eventually. I think there may have been one other that was due to come later on. There's 9 on the Facebook event saying that they were going. I think somebody might have had to have cried off. It was actually hosted in the local CWA building. So the CWA is the Country Women's Association in Australia, and they are the female battle axes that run ran the community, certainly back in the day when the men weren't around. The men folk were off at war and something. The CWA kept the town running and everything else, and yeah, they were the local busybodies. And if you have a chance to watch something like Country Practice, yeah, one of those. Just watch one episode of a Country Practice and just check out who Ismay Watson is. Oh, God bless them. But the lounge up these, there's a steep set, I was told they were a steep set of stairs. I didn't actually find them terribly steep at all, although one of the members had found it was an issue getting up these stairs before, and, you know, they might have been a bit more incapacitated than me, but my in-laws have one of those old stone homes, and the stairs is literally like that angle. It's so it's like climbing a ladder with slightly deeper steps, and you cannot put your foot, you know how you walk down a step and you've got your foot on the step? You can't. You have to actually go down the step sideways because the step is too shallow for your foot to fit on. So anyway, these stairs were fine. But when I went to it, there's like, the lights were closed, there was nobody home in the CWA store, and I'm kind of thinking, have I got the right place? Feeling like I'm, you know, a complete mental case, and walk around the back just to see if there was a back, and found a door open, and went up the stairs, heard some people chattering upstairs, and went up, and it was like, oh my God, there's Carolyn. Thank God, it's a familiar face. So yeah, and yeah, just got chatting with a complete stranger over making a tea, and, you know, looked around and saw this gorgeous lounge, because these houses were probably built in the late 1800s. Hobart was colonized in 1830, I think. 1803. 1804 for Hobart, because I only read it the other day. And these will be some of the original buildings. So, you know, late 18-somethings, this building would have been put in. So you've got the grand kind of fireplacey area, and they had it so that the little armchairs, you know, were old, you know, before the 60s kind of style. You know, just old lounge chairs, not modern at all. You know, we were drinking tea out of teacups with saucers. One of the other girls is going, I don't know how they do this. For a start, you've only got like 2 mouthfuls and it's gone. And then you're trying not to, you know, spill the stupid thing, and she's kind of going, oh yeah, I left my saucer behind. Like, because you're not used to having saucers. So funny. But yeah, it was cool. And they were really, really nice. They all stitched on hoops, actually. One of them had the German stand with the fanny board, kind of, you know, with the ovally kind of thing. Paddle that goes in between your legs. Which actually allows you stitch two-handed on the hoop. Apparently the hoop costs a lot of money, the stand is next to nothing. Go figure. But she was talking about how the brass fittings, the brass thread on the screw had been de-threaded, stripped, that was the word. Stripped over time because she likes her hoop really, really tight. So she's got to try and find somewhere to get a new screw for her kit. And she said because it's German, it's imperial. It's imperial, not metric. So getting the right thread is also going to be an issue. So yeah, you've got technical talking, and she'd only got home from, you know, 4-wheel driving, having to try and flip some guy's car who'd flipped in the middle of the bush, and didn't call emergency services, didn't, you know, call for help or anything else. It was just them and another car, and they turned the car over and they got the car started. Bunch of mechanics who go bush bashing and got the car out, and they got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was just cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, do something that's, you know, and it's funny, I wasn't nervous about meeting up with this bunch of women. I mean, I didn't know who was going to be there, but I wasn't nervous about meeting them. I think before I had been nervous as all hell meeting a bunch of strangers about subject that we might have had in common, but didn't know them at all. So that was quite refreshing. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm bummed that, you know, the car twit didn't show up. That would have just made my day if he had shown up and said, yeah, I'll buy the car, here's the money, and we would have said, yeah, we'll be back to you in 2 days. I didn't play games with him. He thinks it's karma. There's quite a bit of purple. There's 3 leftover purples, and I've got a full bag in there. Okay, so if there's quite a bit of purple, I'm actually going to take that single. I'm going to put that in and keep the 2 together. I'd rather not have widows and orphans if I can help it. So yeah. So yes, I will definitely get back with these girls. So if you ever get a chance of doing a retreat or otherwise, take the chance. I know some people are a bit kind of people phobic, you know, but most people are not going to bite you. They're not there to be biting you. So, you know, go on. Have some fun. Stretch your boundaries. And you might find that you find your best new buddy. And I know there are people on here, on YouTube, that have connected with others, and they have found their best new buddy. You know, Rachel talks about Heike and how they talk nearly every day. Well, they wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't necessarily for YouTube. I mean, you'd have to ask them about their story, but you know, they didn't meet in a cafe on a street, you know, doing a study lesson or anything else the way most people, you know, tend to meet each other. They didn't meet in a job in the traditional sense. They would have met online by some of these online communities, and they've connected and they've, you know, blossomed with this friendship. So, you know, your best new friend, your new best friend even, might be at any one of these kind of resources that you can be a part of. I'm not going to put that out, even though there's 1, 7, 9. Yeah, I really enjoyed today. It was really cool. It did me good to actually enjoy the company. It could be a result of the doc having put me on sertraline. She's got me on half tablet. And maybe that's playing with serotonin levels well enough for me to kind of go, I can do this. I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? I did it. I had fun. And that's all that matters. No, these are the car keys. Car keyrings that hubby printed for the car. So that one turns, and then this one rotates. 3D printed. Boys and toys. Sophie kept coming to us with these earbud bits. I think that's everything out of that. Right. Tidy up. Okay, so they're my spare drills. Look, these are all the extras so far. Okay, so all my drills are in. I'm kind of at my wrap-up time, but I had a kit. I'll show you again. This is what I've got. And, oh, not again. I had one of these that had a corner dog ear up. So this is what I've done on each of the panels. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Wasn't that one? I was trying to tweeze it out just before I came on. There it is. Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Maybe this is the one I was thinking of. But this is one that's curling up. So, let me show you what I do. These are toilet roll toilet rolls without the toilet paper, cardboard rolls. I chop them open, okay, and I will coil this up tighter than the box now, and I probably want to keep it about that much. So what I do is pop the roll on, and that goes on, and then it goes on here. Okay, so I've got 2 rolls. That will really lightly compress and keep that in control, and I can pull it out a bit, so I've got 3. So I've got a bit of a flat space. Now, I'm going to show you one panel, because I've got a bit of time before dinner. It has to get ready. Okay, so there we go. Now, I need a legend, really. Okie dokie. I probably need some clear cellophane that I can put over that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that there. I'm going to move that there. And I'm going to pick out the colours. And this is where having an inventory separate would really help, because it would probably help me pick some of these while I'm unfamiliar with what everything is. So there's an F. There is it that one? Nope. It's what I call the pencil. I'm just scanning through. I know that's in there. There it is. There's a H and there's an arrow. There's a H and there's an arrow. There's the funky L, which is not an L. There's the hourglass. I'm blind. Hourglass. There's the U-turn. Let me get U-turn and an X. That's an at. Nope. U-turn and X. A J and a C. J and a C. There's a J. This could be the C. It's wobbly. Nope, there is a C. That's the chevron. Okay. There's the funky moon. The crescent. Don't see it yet. Don't see the crescent. I haven't taken it out yet. Oh, I have. Derp. No entry. Star. Triangle. 8. 8. 3. Not the number 3. Never look for the numbers. 3, 3, and a K. Alright. Now, a P and an equals. Equals. And a P. And the star, blue star. I'm saying this like you can all see what I'm actually picking up, but you're probably too blurry to see. Z or Z. That's most of the colours. Holy cow. Oh, and the heart, which is usually 310, not always. I have checked with my other Ever Moments and they are not always 310, so please do not get complacent with your symbols. They are not always the same. Now, there's maybe more no entries than anything else, but I'll leave that till last. And I need to move all of these and try not to hit my mouse in the process. Alright, so that's what I do. I pick out all the colours. If you've been with me a little while now, you will have seen that I pick out all of my colours so that I've got them in the tray, and when I pop them back into that storage container, I don't push them all the way down. I only push them maybe halfway, and I forgot the pill. I push them halfway down so that if I go, oh, I found another one, I can find it pretty easily. So I'm after the heart, which is the 310. You can see that springing up off the light pad a little bit. You just need a little bit of gentle pressure. This probably won't call for much multi-placing. So we'll see how we go. Woohoo! First drill's down on the mystery diamond painting. Woo! Thank you, Julie. Julie Murray is my cohort in crime. She has chosen this picture. We said something wacky. You know what would be really, really funny is if any two people actually pick the same painting for each other. That would be hilarious. Yeah, sorry, that would really, really crack me up. We have, I think about at least 12 partners, potentially 20 partners in this. Oh, this is interesting. I've just realised. The canvas is printed that way, but all the icons are actually printed this way. So maybe it's a portrait, not a landscape. Clues, clues, clues. It doesn't mean I'm going to do anything different, but yeah, just an observation. And I will put a photo up at, well, maybe, yeah, I'll take a photo at the end. I'll put it into my post editing. And it'll be a kind of, can you tell what it is yet kind of thing. Oops, there's two more. Sneaky little, goodness me. Yeah, it'll be a, can you tell what it is yet? And I don't know how I'm going to pick which one I do. I haven't pre-picked, like I haven't pre-numbered any of these. So it could be that I'm picking, all four decided to get into the shoot at once. It could be that I just randomly pick rather than going from here to here maybe. I think that would be a bit too kind of close. So it might be here one week, it might be, you know, there's 28 to choose from. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, I did a mystery swap. Ugh. It would have been last year, but the group never really got going. People weren't necessarily on YouTube. They didn't set a group up purely for those mystery people. So unfortunately my swap partner, she never even acknowledged that she got mine, I don't think. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, she just disappeared. So that was a bit of a letdown. It's two drills stuck together and I don't know where they went flying. Anyway, don't need them, but they're not going to work. Yes, that was a bit disappointing. So I've got a swap that's supposed to be an Irish waterfall. I actually couldn't figure out what the hell it was when I looked at the kit. It was printed black and white rather than with colour. And I must get around to doing that one too. Because, you know, I don't know what it is. And yeah, it is. It's a surprise. So that'll be cool. That was with, not Evermoment, it was with another store that the organiser knew the printer or something, and they could print it black and white without the inventory thumbnail and that kind of thing. So it was cool. And oh no, sorry, I did actually yeah, I picked a brand of something. She said that she liked a particular whiskey, so I picked I thought it was a pretty awesome picture, but I don't know if she's ever done it. I don't even know if I'm still part of the group. It was way, way back when I was in the early Facebooky groups. So yeah, don't know what happened with that one. Something Meister beer, whiskey, something that she liked, and I found it in black and neon. But it looked really, really cool. Oh, I think we could just pick any photograph as well. That was the other thing. It wasn't a diamond painting that we had to pick. It could be a photograph, and I think that was the point. It was actually a Google photo that we could do. So that made it even more unique. I'm looking for an F. Oh. It's showing white on the canvas, but it's a pale pink. That would be my water reminder. I've been really bad this weekend actually drinking water. And when I'm drinking water in work, I feel like I'm going to the toilet all the damn time. But I am thirsty. I should probably drink more and jabber less, but you're not here to have me slurping away in your ears. I need a hat with beer on it, do I? I don't, well, without the beer. Yeah, it'd be very heavy though, I'd get a sore neck. I could just get a drink, you know, and pick it up. It's right next to me.
A better solution is you could strap
Just a
sponge, a wet sponge to your head, and you could just drink it as it moves down.
Ew.
I think straw is a better idea.
Yeah, straw would be a better idea. Finishing this, and then it's time for me to do the roast. Hubby's playing with the lights. He wants to try and continue doing it undisturbed. That's the plan for the rest of today.
It's so bad at concentrating.
Yeah, he's got no memory. What am I after? The white pill. I maybe didn't pick that up. I thought I did. It's pale.
Well, no memory's not quite true. It's just
No, he remembers actors like nobody's business. And kind of goes, oh, and they're in that show. And it's like, it's uncannily accurate. It's ridiculous.
he goes out and remembers the name.
Yeah, he might not remember the name. And I'll have to look it up on IMDb. And I'll go, nope, nope, not picking it. And then he'll, you know, or he'll be looking at it going, oh, they were on Game of Thrones. They were blah, 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 blah on Game of Thrones. And he'd be able to tell me the whole Game of Thrones plot thing. And the funniest part is actually we're watching a movie and he'll predict the next scene coming up. It gets quite hilarious when that's exactly what is either said or done. Oh dear, do you ever have that? Yeah, it's all kinds of, it just cracks us up the whole time. When this happens repeatedly, it's kind of like, oh, and you know, a green pea is going to fall out of the sky, and you're kind of thinking, what? You know, and that's exactly what happens. It's ridiculous. It's kind of like, yeah, we were co-writers in these movies that we've never seen before. I don't know. We get amused. Yeah. I finished another Cora Seaton book this morning. So I'm running probably through half of her books by now.
Where do you get the time to do all these things as well?
Well, it's kind of like half a page at night and...
No, all of it, I mean.
Yeah, well... Multitasking.
Working full time.
Yeah, I know.
Making babies. Having a toddler.
I looked up whether or not Dan Brown had written anything in the last few years. His last book was Origin, and I kind of let him off the hook when I saw it was only 3 years ago. I was like, far out. It doesn't feel like it was only 3 years ago. But it's like high time he had another book coming out.
Mush.
Yeah, exactly, mush. It's a pain. You get an author you like, and they just can't write quick enough for you to read. That's crazy. It's why you're better off kind of not falling into these series when they start out new, because then you're sitting there kind of going, when's the next book happening? I mean, seriously, 20 years for Jean M. Owl's final book, and her, what was it, the second book in the Clan of the Cave Bear series? She repeated so much of the first book, it was like, oh, far out, woman, would you just get on with a bloody story instead of this rehashing crap? Drove me nuts. The second or third book, it was just repeat, repeat, repeat. It was horrible. It was a really, really horrible read. You could actually have ripped out probably a good quarter of the book, third of the book, and you wouldn't have lost anything at all. And I'm kind of thinking, how long do you think it's been since I've read the first book? Because I read it just before getting this book, so I could be fresh in my memory. Fans, hey? Yeah. I think that's it with the no entries. I don't know if I've got any of D.E. Stevenson downstairs. She's an English writer. I would love to reread some of her books. I read them when I was a teenager, and would love to know if they're actually as good as I remember them, or not. D.E. Stevenson was a kind of, I don't know if she was English romantic or just English family, kind of. I don't think it was romance necessarily. There may have been some kind of mystery. She wasn't quite Catherine Cookson, who was a little bit depressed. Read all of hers too. But yeah, she was a bit sad sacky in her day. Whatever era or style of writing she used to do. What else was there? I don't think I ever really got into Agatha Christie. I think I had one of her books, but I don't know that I actually read it. Had my Stephen King days and got out of them pretty quick. Had my Flowers in the Attic period. Yeah, they were terrible books. Was it Virginia Andrews? Is that her? And then went into some weird shit for a while. But I still have a lot of books downstairs. We were meant to be building a bookshelf and keep getting waylaid with other projects. And lack of motivation to chop wood and lack of weather to be able to chop wood in. It's a gorgeous day today in Tassie. Absolutely stunning. So yeah. Be nice to be able to have the books up and feel like the hall is maybe a bit less cluttered. And free up some space downstairs, which means that we can tidy that up a bit. Or move around just a bit more, I think is the plan. Yeah, I want one of those houses that has custom shelves everywhere. Not always possible. And this house is so small to be able to do that in.
And secret passages.
Yeah, secret passages. And he wants the secret wine cellar buried under the house. And yeah, it's just not going to happen on this block of land.
Secret man cave underneath the secret wine cellar.
Uh-huh. So yeah, secret man cave under the secret. Oh yeah, and it's got to be 100 meters down. You know, it's secret lifts and all of that kind of thing. You know, Men in Black kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know. It's funny because another couple that we knew, they were thinking of putting a wine cellar in their yard, being a 10,000 gallon water tank. We can get these poly tanks here that are made out of a plastic. He wants to get one of those and put it into the ground and you know, put a ladder in, and that would be his wine cellar in the backyard. And then the couple separated, and yeah, that didn't happen, but nice idea. No, that's probably not what. This is the one who, you know, kissed the... anyway. You know, was it a kiss or was it more kind of scenario? Anyway. Yeah, I would love to be able to build, but the planning that would need to go into it would be quite obscene to make sure that it had, you know, the lights that did what we want and the space to do what we want, and yeah, my husband would have to make them. And then it needs to be idiot proof so that when he carks it I can still run it. Because otherwise I'm going to have no lights and no function, and you know, it's not going to work.
Something in there for you. You just have to keep me alive.
Oh, he says I've just got to keep him alive. Because thinking he's gonna, I'm going to have to learn how to do Debian and programming.
And soldering.
And soldering. I can do the soldering, I think. Probably not as good as him, but anyway. Yeah. I didn't have to do electronics. Yeah, but got to find the right piece of land, not too far away from the city either, but to be able to do all these dreams, yeah.
I read a thing about,
Pie in the sky.
You know, you're from Tasmania, you start bitching about a commute more than 15 minutes.
Yes, exactly. You know you're in Tasmania when you go bitch about a commute further than 15 minutes. Yeah. Unless you're a mainlander and it doesn't matter, and then you become Tasmanian when you do start bitching about the commute. And you can't park more than 5 minutes from the store that you're intending to go to. You'll actually drive around the block to find a park right in front of the door. Yeah, people do that. It's ridiculous. People were actually bitching because the Hobart City Council wanted to drop the speed limit in the city to 30 kilometers per hour. Now, on a busy time of day, you can't get more than 30 kilometers per hour, and these people are bitching that, oh, it's 30 kilometers an hour. You know, pedestrians are in this area all the damn time, and it was very much the mentality of, you know, not in my backyard kind of crap, and, you know, oh, I'm not going to come into the city kind of jargon. And I was just like, oh my god, you stupid people, you know, we don't need you in the city if you're just going to bitch and potentially kill the pedestrians, which we've had a few pedestrians hit by cars and buses, you know, so it's not a stupid idea putting this limit into particular streets. Now, the council weren't necessarily narrowing it down quite as much as I narrowed it down. I narrowed it down to one city block, basically. And I think the council were looking at having it a little bit further out than what I was thinking, but I think that's a bit stupid. But anyway, I walked after work one day and was amazed at the amount of Asian restaurants now in the city. And there's a couple of apartment blocks. There's actually one place that's quite funky looking. It's called Batch Apartments. And when the doors are open to the car park, it's got this batch house or something in, you know, big metal thing at the back of this garage. And then there's these concrete walls that come out along the thing, and you drive into your parking bay. And I didn't know what the hell this was. It was like Batch Apartments. Does that mean it's a brewery or something? Well, apparently this is the parking bays downstairs for the apartments then up top. Well, I walked along past the building and I thought, where are the windows for this bloody apartment? Like, there's no windows. There's 5 skinny windows down the side of this warehouse, effectively. I was like, oh my god, you know, what kind of living is that? The downstairs parking area was funky as, but do they have skylights, or how is it lit inside? See, there's a lot of city apartment living dotted around some of the streets. It was, you know, and there was city apartments next to this strip of, you know, Asian restaurants. And, you know, I term it Asian. There's Thai, and there's Indonesian, and there's Chinese, and there's, you know, every couple of doors there's another ethnicity of restaurant. In the city, there's so many Asian restaurants. We have so many Chinese students coming here to study that all these restaurants are popping up for them to eat, you know, native food in native language. They're not even English menus. It's almost like you're walking through this town as an Australian or Irish Australian, and it's like a foreign world. It's quite bizarre, and I'm not hugely adventurous with food. If I don't know what it is, I mean, I'll ask, but if I don't know that it's this particular spice, or if it's going to be too spicy, what it's going to be, I might not be game enough to try it. And, you know, you can't always get bland, tasty food from some of the cafes and that. So yeah, interesting how the city is changing. You know, it used to be the CWA, it used to be the bakery, it used to be the food that you'd be familiar with. Now it's Asian bakery and the most amazing looking pastries, and, you know, bubble tea shops and all this kind of thing. We have a store that does banh mi rolls. They're amazing. You know, there's no social distancing in any of these stores. You're basically shoulder to shoulder with the next customer, and that's a bit off-putting, but which is funny because the Asians are the first ones who will actually put the face masks on in Australia. You know, if they're sick or you're sick, they'll put a face mask on. We actually had a store next to where we used to get petrol, I'd go in and get my sweet chili sauce from them. I need to get the pencil back. I'd get my chili sauce, and when coronavirus broke out, these two are wearing masks, and I was like, why are you wearing masks? You know, are you? And it's just the whole perception, but they will wear masks, whereas others won't. You know, so different mentalities. Yeah, it's an interesting capital at the moment, Tassie. It's changing. They are promoting a lot of the university kind of geared up towards Asian Chinese students. They will come here and they actually have to pay fees, so this is why they've got them. They pay full fees, which pays basically for the Australians to have their HEX debts set aside, well not set aside, but built up, but they get funding for having them in. Anyway, there is a large international student body that come through and study, and they are fun, and they do give to the community in a lot of cases, but sometimes they can leave a little to be desired. But yeah, invariably they do add, and they can be quite fun, and they're, you know, studying away from home. I mean, they get paid maybe to do so, but they still, you know, they're away from family, and their familiarity, mind you, they've got so many of their fellow native speakers here, it probably doesn't feel too foreign for them in some cases, which, you know, is to their benefit. I guess that's why they kind of tend to keep together and stick with, you know, people that they know and understand, and then work with and everything else. So, yeah, it's a bit like the Greek community. They all buddy up together and know each other, and they do school together, and they do study together, and they do play together, and then they do stores together. Right, well, I'm definitely not going to be able to tell what this is from this square when it gets finished. But I have been talking for ages. I should probably just let you guys go. And I'll keep going with this, but in my post-editing I will put a picture of the finished section, and you can start making guesses. I don't know how many sections I will get through in a week. 28. I'm going to be awesome if I could get it done in 2 months, but to do it in 2 months means how many? I've got to do 4 sections a week. That's not going to happen. No, not 4 sections a week. What would it be? 2 months is 8 weeks. 3 maybe a week. It would mean I don't have stitching time, or less stitching time. So, don't know. Don't know how that's going to go. Maybe 2 on a weekend I could potentially do, especially if it gets slightly less confetti. But I don't know how blocky it's ever going to get. It could remain confetti. So I don't know that I've got fast sections. I'm not peeking at the other sections. I've got the masking tape or duct tape blocking the view. Because it's also rolled up, there's no cheating. So, no idea. Working in these small sections means, like, small rolled out bit means I'm not actually getting many spoilers myself. And it ended up then, when I got to unravel the painting, I got to see the surprise of how it looks with, you know, whoever I was recording it with. So that was kind of cool. That may have been an Ever moment, or it may have been even the Huacan. It's kind of like, oh my god, that's what it really looks like at the end. So that was a surprise. That was good. And I probably need to renew my pen. Sophie's stirred. She hasn't woken. She's asleep on the couch. Yeah, she's just kind of rolled back over. So I want to let her sleep as much as possible. That fell down here. There it is. Yeah, not go to bed until I go to bed. Alright. Can you tell what it is yet? No, me neither. Alright. What's happening this week? I think this week, Monday, is actually the wrap-up of the Letters to a Lady, which means that I've got to come up with something new for a new series on Mondays. I don't know what I'm going to do. Tuesday is... Let me get my diary. We're still in July, I think. God. No, it's week 22. Maybe the wrap-up is next week. Yeah, the wrap-up is next week. So it's the last letter in the alphabet, in the Arabic alphabet. Something. Anyway. Tomorrow is... So not tomorrow. Yesterday would have been the Darn Good Yarn April box, 1 year anniversary box. So there are some treats in there. Thursday, I don't have anything yet. And Saturday is a floss tube, as I mentioned. So Frivolous Friday, we'll work that out during the week. I may even plan in advance a bit better. I might record the dot to dot as soon as I can. Recording is easy. It's getting the editing time and getting the videos up is probably the slower time. So we'll see how we go. So there you go. That's what's happening this week. Maybe I should do this on a Monday? I don't know. Or maybe I do a Monday kind of, this is what's happening this week. Because doing it on a Wednesday when it's halfway through the week is, yeah, a little bit silly. Yeah, it is what it is. I will see you again. Well, if you want to come and have a chat and see what I'm up to with my cross stitch, please come and join me on the floss tube at the weekend. Lots of projects. I think I've got 4 stitchy projects on the go. Do want to get that blackwork stitch along, the botanical one. Anyway, would really like to get that one going. It's only a monthly one, so it really doesn't take an awful lot, and we're nearly through the year, so I need to get crack on. I've got 66 squares to plan. So yeah, you can see that. You can see my wool projects. You can see the treats I got in my sassy pouch and things like that. So yeah, that's all condensed into the floss tube. And if you want to look at the individual videos to get individual bits, they're coming out over the next few Tuesdays. Tuesdays is when I release my non-diamond painting kind of stuff. So you get my resin stuff and you get my wool stuff and you get other things. So that's Tuesdays, really. So, you know, keep posted for that one. So I will see you around. Yeah, be able to catch up with you again during the week. I'll finish this. I've got to go start organising my time now, because now I've got to get dinner started or prepped and start organising the rest of the evening and that kind of thing. So see you around, and I will keep you up to date. Alright, look after yourselves. See you around on the tubes, and yes, bye for now. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.